A, B, C. A always B, B, C closing. Always be closing.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? It's another episode of Scare Money Don't Make Money. It's your boy Killer Cam.
And as always, it's your boy Roy trying to do what we can to talk about some things that gonna kind of brighten your day, hopefully.
Yeah, with the podcast, we talk about recruiting, sales, the grind, the culture, the psychology, pretty much anything and everything recruiting, as always. So this is going to be our recap episode. So we are this episode 11. I think we both are very surprised and proud that it has gotten this far.
I mean, honestly, very shocking that we have stick to our schedule and our plan of recording at the same time on the same day of the week, especially for us. Like, like that's very shocking. And then able to coordinate with our guests to do it at the time that we can do it.
Yep. So appreciate the guests. Every time I talk to them, they do always ask me like, I always send them like a little calendar thing, and I'm like, but if you can, we usually do it Wednesdays, at this time, and so far they've all obliged, and we appreciate y'all. Funny enough, for the scheduling conflict. So for some of y'all that don't know, as far as like that's why me and Roy laugh about it. Whenever you're a recruiter, I'm sure it's the same thing in the civilian sector, is you have to be certified. Like they gotta say that you know what you're doing.
Yep.
The first time I was supposed to get certified didn't happen because my calendar was all types of jacked up. And it was like, it don't even look like you playing nothing. Like you just and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna live my life day by day type dude.
Like you felt like a great value, like Vin Diesel. Like I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
I live life at a time, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen. Somebody could walk through the door right now. I gotta put him in the military. It's like, nah, bro. Like you, this isn't planning. This is just being.
like you're just existing at this point.
You're
Like
just existing at this point. Like you lucky motherfuckers, or people still walking in the door.
Yep. Yo, that is fun. And you know what? I think when I coming into like doing recruiting for me, real quick, Cam, I realized how much planning is really important, even in like life. Like even in life, like it sucks. It sucks. Like my wife, like she don't like to plan. Like for me, if I go on vacation, I want to plan when I'm going to sleep and what I'm doing throughout the day. Even like with kids, man, like, okay, I'm planning on making lunch at this time in the morning. I plan on working out, doing like even the kids, like they get mad, like, oh,
damn, we want to go on one more ride. We're like, no, it's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime, like, yo, like we gotta get out of here by 6:45. So everything. So planning, yeah, you messed that one up on the first go round.
It's okay though. I'm learning. I'm learning. If you know what honestly has really helped me is I think I didn't like the whole planning thing, because then if somebody is like, you didn't do it, then someone's like in my shit. So I'm like, if I just don't plan, you can't be mad about for something I didn't follow because I just never did it.
Right, like I planned it in my head.
And I had to like, you had to like write notes on everything. Like, come on, bro. Like this, it was 2000. It's 2017. Like, what? Or no, 2000. What? 2014, 2015. Why am I writing everything down? Like, I don't do that. And so I think that's what really got, because now I do plan. Like I have my calendar app, and like I tell people put themselves on my schedule, and I stick to my, like, it reminds me on my watch. Like I'm like, bing, okay, I have something to do today. Like, but I don't have to answer to nobody about it. And I think that's like, I think I get that from Adrian, because she's like that. She's like, if you just don't do it, you don't have to feel bad if you don't do it. Like we don't like to schedule plans, because if you schedule plans and you don't do them, the person feels bad because you didn't come over, and you're like, I should just never committed.
Yeah. But you know what though? It kind of messed up. Like when people say like, "Oh, I forgot." Like, and I think that's kind of like some triggering things to me. Even like a relationship, like it's like, "Oh man, I forgot," or and it's like to them like, "Oh, I wasn't a priority to you." Like, well, no, that's not the case. I'm just Magoo, and
Yeah.
I forgot. But like even now, bro, it's been a couple of times. Had I not set an alarm to go off at the time it was supposed to go off to remind me to go pick up my kids from school,
Yeah.
I probably would have been at school still.
Yeah.
So that, if anything, I tell anybody, alarm your stuff. If you don't got like a planner, at least make alarms to like go off at certain times of the day.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I need to make these phone calls. Oh, I got to follow up with this person. What have you? So,
They be
man,
like that. But so yeah, so we're gonna do a little bit of a recap. It's obviously not gonna be as long as the episode today because we don't have an actual guest for you today, just us. So lessons learned, things like that. So our first guest, SEAC number 3, John, the most American name in the world, John Wayne Trust. um, we were fortunate enough, and you guys hear me say it in a lot of the episodes, is like I, I just message him on Facebook. People, people are so big on authenticity, and you should just be who you are. And at the end of the day, really, I remember I said this to a chief one time. Is I said, we all put our pants on the same way. Like and it was funny because at that he was like, well, you mean, yes, you're right, but you do understand, like, that doesn't mean you're on like the same level as that person. I was like, well, obviously, like, but what I'm saying is, like, you should never be afraid to talk to somebody. Like, they're still a human being. And so I think, and I've tried to follow that premise as we've gotten our guests. And SEAC was really, we were really fortunate. He messaged me back quick, fast, in a hurry, and he was on. He ended up being a really good first guest to tell us about his transition. And yeah, like the ups and downs, and as far as like his views on, to help veterans transition and stuff like that.
oh yeah, like I think one of the big things that like stuck out for me during that conversation was when he spoke about revisiting your museum.
Oh yeah, I know that was your favorite part.
That was my favorite part. Like I was like, oh snap, because I am a big ass culprit of that. Like, yo, let me take you down memory lane real quick. Yeah. And it's like, yo, I gotta make sure I don't continue down that path. But since my museum was already erected, it's done. Now I just gotta focus on other people, helping them build their museum and creating their
Yeah.
brand and their reputation, while referencing mine in certain situations, but not living in it.
Yeah.
Because some people real life like live the hell out their museum.
No, they do. Yeah. And and I think as recruiters, it is, and even and sales folks, it can be hard not to, because like
Mm-hmm.
that, like I think you and I talked about it, like when I first came into recruiting. And one of the things I think we both liked was the fact that your success is literally on you. Like, it's not like a normal job where, like, whether you're working at a factory or you're working, in the military, or a job where a lot of people are doing the same thing. And so
Mm-hmm.
as a group, you get a lot of things done. But on an individual scope, it is really hard to like turn out tangible things. But in
Yep.
recruiting, that's all it is. It's all tangible things on what did you do. Like, you put in 75% of your goal. Oh, well, you trash.
Yeah. Like what? And they always point it back like, well, okay, so you didn't make your goal or your mission, or even like in sales, like you didn't sell as many cars. Like, what did you do
Yeah.
wrong, or what did you do very
Mm-hmm.
inefficiently or very
Yeah.
ineffective?
Yep. Because old Billy over here,
Like he churning and burning. Like he got money for days, and you still eating ramen noodles. So
what if I like ramen?
like, hey, well, you're not eating the Michelin.
Yeah, the
Michelin. Like you eating the Nissan. There's Michelin and there's Nissan. I don't even know that's how you're supposed to say it. So honestly, if you own that company,
Michelin.
that's like if you own the company, I'm so sorry I butchered the name. But that's my favorite.
They're like, damn St. Louis people.
Yep, that's how it be though.
That
is how it be.
But yeah, I know. Like the museum thing was definitely a big one because it's like it really did is a testament. Is like don't live in your own thing, man. Like the world is out there, and there are bigger and there are bigger and badder people than you. I think we all forget that sometimes.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so SEAC was the number one, and I would say those are probably the two biggest things we probably got from that conversation, and then obviously he brought us some other people as far as guests were concerned.
Oh yeah, then like I think the next episode that we had with Sergeant First Class Murphy, Brian. Like I think it was cool just getting that understanding of the collaboration piece when it comes to doing recruiting or sales, because a lot of times, no matter what you're doing, like whether you work at a Toyota dealership and a Hyundai dealership, or you're selling big houses versus small houses, having that collaboration with your competition, in a sense, you can assist each other, because every once in a while we may get somebody that we can't put in, but you can. So I need to make that collaboration. Boom.
I just did it the other day. I put in like this guy, and he was a referral from the active duty recruiter here. He had 90s on his ass fab, a perfect physical, slid right into one, and it's just what active duty wasn't his thing. And I emailed that recruiter and his flight chief, and I was like, yo, this is how this is supposed to work. This dude came in and said, hey, guard's probably better for me. And I was like, yo, now like he's happy, you'll get your credit, and everybody can thrive, and this is proof that it can work. And but it's the same thing right now. Like I was telling you, like I'm working with that civilian recruiter doing the civilian placement. Same thing. I was like, look, bro, tech, I don't know tech like that. Let's go halves on it. There's money to be made here. We don't need to be greedy. Let's be real about it. You're an expert. I found the person. Let's work together. Then I can learn, and you can be, in essence, a mentor, a teacher. And then guess what? We both get paid in the long run if we're able to place the guy.
Bam.
And now that's a relationship that now I have with him, where like we was on a FaceTime call one night for like an hour, where he was doing real life like sales training with me. Like, hey, when you call, this is how you kind of go, and he didn't have to do none of that. Like if anything, like you said, like technically I'm competition. We may not be in the same space, but I think people forget that you can collaborate and like work together in this space a lot.
Yeah, like one of my bosses say, he like collaborate, communicate. Yeah, I know. I just had to say it because like he didn't say it so many times. Like it's like every time he said it, I'm like but I'm not gonna tell him like it makes sense, because it do. It makes sense, but I'll never give him the satisfaction of saying it.
My supervisor, he always if he says noted, he'd be like he was like noted. You're like, I don't know if I'm in trouble, or if you like what I said, or if I'm gonna get talked to later. But yeah, and so moving on, we so after Brian, we had Mr. Ben Levitt.
Oh man, that was a
good one.
That was a game changer.
That was a game changer.
That was a game changer, simply because like my son, like he always running out, Dad, I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And then being like older, not old, but like
You old,
hell,
you old as shit.
I am like, because when they running around saying like, I want to be a YouTuber, like, yo, like, son,
That's not a real job.
That is not a profession. Like, that is not a career. And then I'm seeing like little kids like making $8 million, and then like Ben breaking down the strategies and the different things to produce content, reaching out to people and people reaching out to him. It was just like, damn.
Yeah. And I think what's even crazier is like, as we have talked to these people, especially Ben, then when you see what they're doing, you're able to like, because like he told us about it, and obviously it made sense when he told us about it, but like once you actually see it going down, I feel like it really kind of like synergy.
There you go, using big words.
Yeah, well, you remember that? That was the big word back in like 2016, like synergy. And I used to always mess with them. We're like, oh, you mean synergy?
You just like,
intertwined.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, at the end of the day, it just looks like somebody just playing around with their fingers.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And then no, I know that it definitely made more sense to me once, like now that I actually see him do it on Instagram and his YouTube page and stuff like that. Because you don't think about those things.
You don't. Like,
we don't.
I mean, we don't.
And I'm pretty social media like guy, and I'm just like.
but I really think like that is a real life like career path, a real life profession for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I would definitely say like if you are in recruiting, you have to find a way to do those type of things today.
Yeah.
Like especially if you want to be successful and you want to thrive and make money and do the different things to make your name known. The billboards, do I think they still work? Absolutely. I still think certain things in the world from the past, like I'm one of those people who still read billboards. I still listen to the radio, but I understand.
Yeah.
Like my children, they're on YouTube. Like,
yeah. Oh, so? Ivy, bruh, Ivy's been watching, and I think that's one thing I am thankful for is Ivy. She definitely watches a lot of educational stuff. Not even because we tell her to, just because the world just interests her. And I like that she pulls Zoe into it. So like Zoe will, she'll be watching some bullshit, honestly. And then Ivy be like, Zoe, check out this this Dave, Dave is exploring an episode about like a tarantula, and they're like, ooh, so scary. And I'm like, all right, I'd much rather, and they're like, Dad, look at this. Like, did you know this tarantula, like it could eat birds, but it doesn't? And I'm like, yeah, it's a bird eating spider. Like, how did you know that? Like, we had shows like this when I was a kid too, fool. But guess what? There was commercials.
Exactly. And if it wasn't, and here's the kicker, if it didn't have commercials on PBS, so I had to wait till a certain time to watch it. And after that, and then all the good stuff went off, you had to watch them little boring shows on PBS.
Yeah.
Especially if you lost the remote.
Oh my God.
And the knobs didn't work.
But yeah, so and then I think the Ben as a guest was a very good segue into Demetrius.
Yes.
Because now both those episodes really did a good job of kind of building on each other. Especially with Ben, the YouTube and the IG and stuff like that, and then talk to Demetrius about how he has then leveraged those same concepts that he was talking about for the DG brand.
Yeah, and like I was looking at Demetrius' Facebook page, the brand made it into GQ Great Britain.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, man, like it's so crazy how
over the pond.
But the biggest thing is it is that consistency, that persistence, that hard work and that drive, and the understanding that you got trusting the process, which is very hard for a lot of people. Trusting the process for it to like, man, like, why am I doing all this marketing? Like, why am I paying this money to do this? Why am I paying this money to do that? Like, I'm not seeing no fruit,
Yeah.
and I've been doing all the work. Like, the proof is in the pudding.
Are you sure the fruit's not in the pudding?
I mean,
that should have been the first recap. Like, first of all, the fruit is in the pudding.
the fruit is in the pudding.
I still need to put that on the T-shirt.
You do.
You
Oh,
know what you need to do? You need to take a we need to take a picture of
yes.
you while you're eating pudding.
Eating pudding.
And then it has like a little strawberry on it, bro.
The fruit, yes, we got to make that shirt.
The fruit is in the pudding shirt.
The fruit is in the pudding shirt. Yes, I like it. And then put hashtag scary money don't make money right up under it. I like that.
You know, actually
I
on
like
the
that.
bowl, on the pudding. The
I
pudding.
like that. Oh, we gotta make sure we draw that up. Find somebody that can draw.
Fiverr.
Yep, that's it.
Favor, whatever.
That's it. But like, it's that persistence and like trusting the process. A lot of people are impatient, like especially in today's world. Like, oh, it's not working. It's not working. I made all these.
I'm so impatient. This podcast, no shit, has like really helped my patience.
But that's a self-reflection on you, and I mean, it helps you over time. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
So man, shout out to the DG brand. Like, that is some nice stuff. Some nice stuff.
Yeah.
I still gotta
we need to send them our addresses.
Yep, to exfoliate my head because being bald, you know.
Exfoliate.
Exfoliate it.
And then we had another Ben. We had Ben Nader.
Oh man,
the six-figure recruiter, man.
The six-figure recruiter, man. He make it sound so fun.
You know, and I put a post out. I posted on my LinkedIn today for him because he's doing like a little webinar thing. You know, he's another testament to like really like just being just like that we're all in it together. Like, you know, I know he runs, you know, his mentorship program and stuff like that, but I don't think I have ever asked him a question where he hasn't just been like, oh, this is what I do, this is what I don't do, da 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 da. It's never like, well, you know if you went to my mentorship program, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm, you know, just like just very authentic, very very giving of information, and then honestly, it's just like transparent. But he does make it sound easy. I ain't gonna lie. Like when I if you watch, you know, but it always sounds easy when you throw it into a 5-minute video.
Yeah,
but once you actually listen to, like, you know, I've listened to his interviews, like on other shows and stuff like that. You know, his was a process just the same. It's just, you know, obviously you can't squeeze in, you know, 4 years of a learning curve into 5 minutes of a video, even an hour, you know.
And you know what? I think that's what I'm starting to learn. Because even when like helping recruiters that I work with, I try to squeeze in the 3.5 years of recruiting myself into 5-minute conversations, and then I'd be looking at them all crazy, like, why are you doing all this talking with these people?
You have like 7 years of recruiting though.
Oh yeah, like 7 years of recruiting.
Because he's still building. Because then once you were at you know, operations, that's when I was talking to you like you wouldn't believe what these.
Yeah,
and you were like, man, I know it's frustrating, but you don't know how much I miss that.
Hey, yo, I mean, and that's the biggest thing. Like, a lot of times, like the people that we have talked to, do we have to go through some experiences and make mistakes? Yes. Sometimes do we have to listen to other people's experiences and mistakes that were made? Like, not follow it to the T, but just hear scenarios and think about what you would do if you was faced with that same scenario. Because a lot of times we always want, like, what about this, or what would you do, and yada yada yada. Sometimes when you don't have that scenario being faced with, ask people their experiences and just start making those thought provoking thoughts
Yeah.
on what you would do. So
No, yeah. And then so no, for sure. And then after him, we had what, Tim Madden, I think, right? Was that the next one?
yep,
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 we
yep,
had Tim.
yep.
So and you know, and once again, you know, to the word of the mouth referral type thing, you know, Tim Madden was a referral from Ben Nader.
Yep.
And Tim, man, you know, I feel like he was probably the most what's the word I'm looking for, like the relatable guest for like who we are. Like
Yeah.
he was he was an army recruiter who got out of the army to, and then wanted to be corporate recruiter, opened up his own recruiting business, and then now he runs his mentorship program. But I feel like he and could very well be, like, in essence, like kind of like a poster child to how at least military recruiters, like, hey, we're teaching you such a good skill, you can really do something with it if
Yeah.
if you hone your craft and you sharpen your steel and stuff like that. But it's not for some people, and that's
It's not.
and that's cool.
I mean, but even I think a lot of people, for for the military recruiters that's listening, if this this special duty or this job or this part of your career, this time that you spend in it, it is probably the most beneficial for career progression because you're forced
Yeah.
you're forced with no ifs ands buts about it to learn how to interact with people at their level, at
Yeah.
their stage in their mind. Like, not saying act like them,
Yeah.
but approach like we were taught. We approach them in neutral.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you're in the military for umpteen thousand years, and you're just like, I'm here, you're here, okay, or I'm here, you're here, da 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 da,
Yeah.
and that's not always the way. So you learn patience with people,
Yeah.
and I think that is very, very, very valuable. Or some people just find out like they're very impatient and they just not gonna like a 19-year-old no matter what.
Pretty much. But no, yeah, Tim definitely. And I'm in we're in his Facebook page as well, and just some of the it's crazy, just some of the knowledge that comes out just looking at
Ooh.
comments. Like, you don't even
Yeah,
got, like, and that's the thing, like someone asks a question, and it just goes from there. I think that's what I'm really starting to love about, a lot about the recruiting community in the civilian sector.
yeah.
But yeah, and then next we had
Oh
Sergeant Major retired Anthony Spinero, the former senior enlisted leader of the United
man.
States Indo-Pacific.
In Hawaii, that was a very long title. I promise you. Every time we talked about it, I like it's like saying SHIELD. Yeah, Strategic Homeland, whatever it's stand
Yeah.
for, Defense Agency. Like, man, that's a long title.
Hollywood the Bollywood.
Man, that's like, and what's that? Polar bears to
Polar bears to penguins.
the polar bears to penguins. I'm like, man, that is a long. Like, I would not want to see his signature block. I know that
Oh my, bro!
when he
I
was
bet
in,
there's got to be an acronym we should
had to,
have.
or it was in like 8-inch font, something, because it was not fitting
Bruh.
on one line.
Something, bro. That had to be the longest email signature ever.
Yep, but I mean, I think for him, it was just that experience of his time in the Marine Corps, and like and I think a lot of people don't take those type of things into consideration of the experience, the knowledge, and the growth of all the different branches. Like, because he was talking about like, what do you say, like with the crayons,
Oh yeah,
but
he said when when he retired, I think he said he doesn't have any more crowns or something
right,
like that.
but but he's super intellectual.
Yeah,
He had a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and just to me, like, that was big. And
yeah.
he brought that whole DOD component to it. Like, hey man, like, everybody got something to bring to the table.
No, for sure. No, and I mean, it's one of those. It's it's the same thing. Like probably in the sales world where people are like, oh, like the used car salesman thing. Like, oh,
Yeah.
you a used car salesman, bruh. Some of them car salesmen out there outshine, outsell, out recruit plenty of you mugs.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's like definitely like a perspective thing. Like um, understand. And I like how genuine he was about it. He's like, look, my separation was not the normal. I did 34 years in the military. Like what do you say? My Rolodex doesn't look like a 4-year person Rolodex.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think that's something I definitely took with me because I'm like, I want to have his Rolodex.
Man, yo, real life, like able to like call people up and like or them call him like, hey, like you're getting out soon,
Yeah.
like yada yada yada, like you want to come like roll over here with us, like yeah, like
It wouldn't be
that's
too
pretty
shabby.
exact. Oh, like stay in Hawaii and sure, yeah, let's
Oh,
do it.
you guess you pulled my leg.
Yeah, like man, sip pina coladas, have an ocean view. Yeah, I'll do that.
Nah.
Let's do it. Yeah, but no, he did that.
Yep. And then after that we had DSP.
Oh man.
DSP. I've been saving this. I've been saving this thing I heard in the book all day, so I could tell you, bruh. I literally like I keep reminding myself every like 30 minutes so I don't forget. Obviously, I guess it worked out perfectly because I didn't know he was going to talk about DSP, but like how like his no bullshit stuff, right? He's like,
Yeah.
yo, just like come out clean, like if you cold call, yo, this is a cold call. Like, so I'm listening to Jordan Belfort's book, the Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yes,
He's
bro.
talking about his straight line strategy. Supposedly his selling template, and how he taught all his folks to sell as good as they did. And it was funny because I remember saying this exact same thing to you. And now I feel like a genius of sales because he said it too. It's like rapport. Hate rapport. Think rapport is fake as shit. And because people know what you now, don't be wrong, it's okay to build rapport as the conversation goes. What I hate is that upfront rapport. Hey man, you like basketball? Oh, I like basketball too. Get the fuck out of here. You here for you here for a reason, dog. Like we can talk about all that other nonsense later. And that's how I operate. I'll tell you right now, when I talk to somebody on the phone, I don't want to waste their time.
Yeah.
They get on the phone with them. I say, hey, I have the same line. Hey, what's up? I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about, the Air National Guard. Just so you know, I keep things real relaxed. I answer any questions you have. I try and give you the best information that I can give you. You decide to join, great. If you decide not to, that's okay too. What can I do for you? Boom.
Boom. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
That's it. And then as we talk, oh well, I want to join because of this and this. So like, oh cool. Like, well, why is that? What makes that important to you? Well, this and this. Oh, that's cool. My mom does the same thing. Boom. That like, and that's one of the things that Jordan Belfort said in his book is he's like, that bill report shit at the beginning. He's like, don't nobody care about that. He's like, they know. he's like everybody knows that it's so fabricated. He's like, when you build it, and then it's called the straight line system because you follow a line to the end of the sale, and he's like, you may deviate here and there, but that's what he's talking about too. He's like, those deviations, those are okay because that's where you build rapport. That's where you find out information, and then but you get back on the line. And he's like, but you keep everything in the context of the sale. He's like, don't go off talking about tea prices in China when it ain't got nothing to do with New York Stock Exchange.
Hello.
So I just wanted to, I wanted to put that out there because I've been saying that for a while, and I feel as validated as they can come right now.
I feel relieved. Like he said it. The Wolf of Wall Street said it. So if he said it, then it works, and I'm doing it.
I see it. Well, shit, I know it works because I do it.
Yeah,
I told somebody that one time. They're like, "How?" I was like, "Yo, I get someone to commit to the Air Force in 20 minutes." You would lie. I remember I told you about it. People was like, "How long your appointments is?" I was like, "I don't know, like 45 minutes." They're like, "Well, that's before you fill out paperwork, right?" I'm like, "No, that's what paperwork."
That's what paperwork.
How?
How? But you said it though, like, cause it's just after a while you're just trying to cut down. It's like a bullet. It is just meat and potatoes. Like I don't need all the fluff. I don't need like, oh yes, the greatness of the world or this or that. Like, yo, let me just cut. How may I help you and what I have to offer you based off of the stuff you need?
Yeah.
I will take that information and I would apply it to the shit that's applicable for me to help you. Like you said, I'm not going to talk to you about traveling when you're talking to me about education.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear nothing about travel.
You don't care about no travel.
Travel.
I still remember the one time I told this dude, "Hey man, I got a loadmaster job for you. You get to travel over the world." And I don't care about that. Yo, and what's funny, education. He's like you already know, pharmacy is like school's the biggest thing for me. I said, bet. But guess what you get to do while you flying on the plane to all these places? He's like, what? And I was like, schoolwork. And he was like, go ahead and put me in for it, coach. Now he's flying over the world. I got him on Instagram. He living his best life. Him and his wife is doing, they're doing great. He messaged me, sorry, Mercedes, thank you so much. I told him straight, I was like, I'm putting your name down whether you say yes or no. I swear to God, I told him that. I'm not even lying to you. I said, my job as your recruiter is to have your best interests. And so I'm going to hang up this damn phone and I'm going to tell him that you're taking that job. That's exactly what I did.
But you know what though? You applied what he told you. Like it's a lot of people don't understand that. But like, I can't do this. I can't do that. I mean, look at the world that we live in now. I'm waiting on the day you can go to Harvard online. I know it'll never happen. I know it won't.
You can't go to Harvard online.
You can't go to Harvard online?
Well, I mean, like you can't you can't get a degree, but they have a lot of courses online.
I mean, I know they got courses, but I'm talking about like full blown
degree.
A straight up degree.
It's gonna happen here soon.
I mean, hey, shout out to Harvard. Like just like I'll apply if you let me go.
It's full. They don't want you.
And I need a scholarship though too.
And by the way, I don't have Harvard money, but I have Harvard. I have Harvard intellects.
Yeah, that's right. No,
I'm gonna try really hard.
Yeah, exactly. I got the work ethic. I got the work ethic to really, really do my best.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I definitely DSP, man. Like, I like as soon as I heard that, I was like, man, it's like, as the universe building blocks, like as you go. And I definitely feel, and I remember I told you on the podcast that night I was supposed to go have dinner with all like other recruiters, and he was like, yo, you should be selling to these people or recruiting them, whatever. And you should have the mindset where if they don't join or they don't come to that job or they don't buy your product, you did them a disservice and you should feel sorry because your product is that. I told the recruiters that. I was like, oh, y'all gather around. Cam got wisdom.
Got something to give y'all today. Y'all gonna learn today.
I did the Kevin Hart thing. Come here. Let me talk. And I was like, yo, I heard this shit today. I gotta tell y'all about it. And I told them, they're like, that's pretty good. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, DSP. And then last but not least, our most recent episode, you know, the what is it? The not unforgiving, but the unapologetic,
Unapologetic.
unapologetic, you know, Chief Master retired Marianne Navarro.
She gonna tell you. She gonna tell you how she feel.
You know, and
She gonna tell
that's
you
what,
how she
but that's
feel.
what you know, but that's what you want. You want, man, I'll tell you what, that you know, I tell somebody else that conversation, or that podcast, you know, we always start, for those of you know, we always start with like outlines of what we'd like to talk about, but we want to let it go where it goes.
Yeah.
You know, we want this to be as conversational and as authentic, and like we don't, you know, we obviously want to educate, but there's so much education that comes just from free thought and free
Mm-hmm.
conversation. And
Yes.
I would say that episode, the last episode with her, was probably the most, um I don't want to say authentic, but the most like example of how that conversation can go, because we thought it was gonna follow these certain things and it went completely the other way, and I think it
Mm-hmm.
turned out being a really good podcast.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with you. I mean, because I think that's one of the things that kind of take a is kind of missing in social media. Like we can do our best to like ask questions
Yeah,
to drive those thought provoking conversations,
yeah,
but it's still I'll say this and then something may be replied 5 minutes later, and
yeah.
then the conversation will start up again 15 minutes later, then 30 minutes, then 3 hours. So it's not fluid,
It's not
and some
fluid. Yeah,
it's not fluid. So just still having conversations with people, man, it just opens your mind so much to a lot. And I try to do that with, especially like working with my recruiters. I'll be like, man, like let's talk about something random because I learn a lot just from talking shit.
yeah, yeah,
Like just like it's just because it's thought provoking. Because me and you don't see things the exact same way. But if we bring up a topic or a conversation and you bring your perspective to the table, 9 times out of 10, I'll just sit back and I'll be like, I never looked at it. I never looked at it like that.
Hmm.
But
I
that's
don't like it, but I never thought about it like that.
exactly, yeah, exactly. A lot of times, I mean, shoot, my boss do it to me. Like he'll say something, I don't think I agree with that. But let me sit back
Yeah,
and digest the information that I just received to expound on that, because one, if I have to do it that way, I am going to find the most creative way for me to do it. And I think that's how you just got to think things through. Like a lot of times we don't see the second, third, fourth order of effect,
yeah,
but we gotta sometimes try to play it out in our minds
yeah,
just to grasp that understand. I think that's what I learned from her. A lot of times when people see what you're doing,
mm,
they're not always gonna understand. Like, oh, like how she was saying, like, you're retiring, like you're not gonna go do this. Like, it's not for you to understand.
yeah, exactly.
Money ain't got nothing to do with you.
Well, that can be hard, man. Like societal pressures and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
just be like that, man. I think we've all kind of run into it. I'll use a good example too. Is I remember, uh, when you were leaving, the recruiting assignment, and then like they was trying to split you and Bree up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, and they were like, well, sometimes, service, and he was like, I'll get out the Air Force right now. I was like,
Those,
whoa, hold up, buddy.
man,
And
those, man.
I remember that, like, I remember that couple of weeks, and I was like, dang. But that's just the thing, is it's like y'all are seeing it from your perspective. You're not seeing it from mine. Like,
Mm-hmm.
please believe, please believe.
Please believe, and like, and I knew I had to like really stick to my, and it wasn't like to bluff anybody or
No,
bluff
no,
the
no.
system. Or,
You
yeah,
was dead ass. You was like,
I was there,
I'll get out there.
because like Cause like for me and my family, like that's when I have
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
I would love to stay. Like, don't get me wrong, but I have to do this for me. And
You're like, I want
man,
to stay
like
married more.
exactly. But like I had a lot of people on my team for that. But I think a lot of people like when we talk about like taking care of each other, sometimes it may not always work out in our favor.
No.
Sometimes it just don't. Sometimes the people above us can make mountains move and red
No.
seas part. Sometimes they cannot. And
No.
during that time, I need to hit everybody up that helped out with that because like yo, they moved some mountains, boy.
Yeah.
And I got that phone call on that Friday, and I was like, wow, like
Yep.
thank you. You
Yeah,
know,
man.
and here I am today. I'm
Here you
still,
are today.
yeah,
Like,
still very appreciative.
old Miami's.
Oh yeah,
And still married.
and still married, and still married, and still getting to do what I love to do. And
No, yeah.
that's a bigger plus. So
No, yeah.
man,
So that's our 10 episode recap for y'all.
oh yeah,
I got called today actually by one of my old supervisors. He retired now, and he's like, "Hey, man." I mean, he messaged me first, and then we talked today. But he's just like, it's like, "Yo, I see you doing your podcast." And he's like, "I think I want to do a podcast. Like, can you tell me about everything?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So like, I love those. I love that. And I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah,
man, I help you, dog."
yeah, man.
He's gonna do a
Yeah.
podcast about cigars.
Oh,
Shout out, Uncle G, Mike Gomes.
ooh, doing a cigar pop. Ooh,
And
I
I
want to
knew it was
listen.
about that. I knew it was about that. It was funny because I like inadvertently knew because I was like telling him about how we use Zoom and stuff. And I was like, "What you gonna do a podcast about? Probably cigars, huh?" He's like, "You already know, nephew."
Ooh, so pretty much it's gonna be a cloud of smoke on Zoom.
Yeah. Well, so what he was saying, was that before he smoked a cigar this many times because he's at home more because of COVID. He smoked
Mm-hmm.
some more. Um, but he started doing more Instagramming of it. Like, hey, this is the one I smoked. This is the one I smoked today. Blah 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 blah. And he got like some cigar company like hit him up and was like, hey, can we sponsor you? Like, we'll give you some free products. You do some reviews for us and da 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 da. And then he was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And so someone was like, yo, you should do a podcast. So him and his homeboy are talking about doing a podcast. And I was like, yo, man, I
Dope.
mean, shit, do it, bro. He got more followers than me on Instagram. Shit.
Hey, shit, there you go. There
um,
you go.
but yeah, so I mean, I think we've had a good our first decade of episodes. Our
Yeah,
first
most definitely.
10 and 10, 10.
And it's still fun. Like you say, like it's just a conversation.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
told him
one.
too. I was like, man, if you do it, like, have a structure, but let the conversation just flow.
That's it. That is it. So we wrapping it up. What's your parting words for this podcast episode?
Honestly, the same thing I always say, man, is like, relationships, relationships. Like, hit up people as much as you can, whether you know them or not. LinkedIn is huge if you want to start building your professional network. I know Roy's seeing me doing it a lot lately. Um, and I promise people remember where you came from.
Yeah.
Because I've had people, now that I'm on LinkedIn a lot more and stuff like that. I get hit by a lot of people now who's like, "Hey, I'm a financial advisor, this, or I'm this, or I'm that." And I may not schedule a meeting with them, but I always message them back because that's the human and professional thing to do. Because at
Mm-hmm.
one point, I was probably somebody who was, SEAC or whoever. I
Messaging
was somebody
somebody.
messaging somebody else hoping for a reply. They
Yep.
didn't have to say yes to what I wanted. I just wanted to know that I was a human being that that you at least took the 5 seconds to say, "Hey, I appreciate you. It was really great connecting."
Yep.
And I think people forget that, and I understand that time constraints as well. I totally get that. But I will say, I done hit up a lot of people that have some pretty severe time constraints, and they have always gotten back to me.
Yeah.
So, but that's my parting words. Is connections, personability. Reaching out to folks.
Okay, I'll stick along the same lines. I don't think we normally do that. We always go one
Nope, you
side to
can't.
the
Nope,
other.
you can't take mine.
No, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. But I'm just gonna say this.
No elaborations, no piggybacks. Nope.
I'm not even piggybacking. That's what
Original
I'm saying.
ideas only.
It's original, but this is an original idea. I'm simply about to say, before you start a conversation in a text message, say good morning, say good afternoon.
Oh man,
say good evening.
That's a Miss Manual-ism. I do that to my applicants to this day. They message me, I mean, as bad as it sounds, I actually was doing it to my flight chief too. She'd send me messages and I'd be like, good morning, ma'am. She's
it's the simplest thing. That I would say that would be like the biggest rapport side of it. A big human connection, communication type deal would be like, cause like I know I still do it to this day. Every once in a while, like I'll send a message. Yeah. And I'll be like, oh, snap. And I'll quickly reply and say, my apologies. Good morning.
Yeah. I feel like when you message me and you go, yo, that's your good morning.
That is my good morning. Like you my dude. Like you my homeboy. Like, so
I do the same thing. I'm like, yo.
yo, like what's up? Like, what's good? But like when I'm talking to other people that I don't talk to on a regular basis, like you, good morning. How you doing? Hello. Can I get that?
Good sir, good ma'am.
Good sir, like top of the morning to you.
This is CJ.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? So those are my parting words. Is don't forget to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening before you start asking for something or before you just start talking randomly to somebody you haven't talked to in a while.
Yo, you just sounded super Truman Show. They'd be like, good morning, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon and good night.
Yep, that's it. I mean, hey, you gotta be nice. Like if you're not gonna build rapport, at least tell the person hi. Damn.
This is true. All right, well, that is our 10 episode recap for y'all. As always, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We went as usual. We went longer than we normally we did. Planned on.
Of course.
So
of course.
Anyways, we'll see y'all next week. We got another great guest as usual, and this is a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Indulge and to learn about ourselves.